Philbrick.
Yeah.
Philbrick. Kubrick.
Nick, I want to begin by asking you about sort of coming up with the concept for the film and then working with the writers to write the screenplay.
Well, I have this idea for a guy who takes care of his sister's kid based on the fact that I have 12 nieces and nephews. And I brought that idea to Mark Duplass, who's my co-star in The League. And then we formulated like where to go and found Liz and Jeff to write it. They're based in New York. They have a 3-year-old son at the time, and then right before we started production, they had another kid. So I mean, the timing of where they were as a couple was very similar to where Rose and Bobby's characters were in the movie. And then we just started to keep putting the team together. And then I sat down with Rose and connected on the script. And then Rose was like, the part of my boyfriend, part of my husband in the movie reminds me of my boyfriend. And I said, "Who's your boyfriend?" She said, "Bobby Cannavale." And we were like, "Oh, well, we wrote the part for Bobby."
That's amazing. So you really did think of Bobby when you were writing it. And that's all just a coincidence that you were already involved and then recommended it.
Yeah, it was quite serendipitous. Liz had worked with Bobby on Nurse Jackie, right?
On Nurse Jackie.
Yeah. I've said this like 5 times. I'm pretending like I don't know.
No, it's good. I like the natural.
I'm waiting for you to like do
taste.
something completely different.
I know.
Bobby and Liz work together on Roots.
Just throw, for the next interview, just throw
Bobby,
something in there.
when I saw Bobby's Kunta Kinte in Roots, I knew that he was the guy that played Danny Cabrera.
Well, let me ask you guys about your characters and their marriage in the film, which that dynamic starts to change when Nick's character, your brother, comes to live with them. Can you talk a little bit about how the dynamic changes?
Yeah, well, he's, firstly, he's the one who's like, you can stay and you can look after the kids, whereas Justine's a little, I think, sidelined with that decision making. But yeah, I mean, he witnesses this adultery that's going on, and they are weirdly sort of closer in a way than we are. We have like more tension between us because of everything, life, history, our relationship. But I think she adores her brother. I think she loves him so much, and that annoying thing of you do anything for them even though they are so like disappointing in so many ways.
I think that Danny sees Nick's character staying with them really. I think he says, I think on the surface what he's saying is, it'd be great, you and your brother can get to know each other again, but I think what he really means is it's going to be great for me because I have a buddy in the house, because things are getting like, I'm feeling a little stifled by this whole adulthood thing. I got another kid coming. Oh my God, I got to grow up. And I think for him, he's just really like psyched to have a buddy in the house.
Yeah.
And
we had my sister and her husband, one of my sisters and husband came and visited set on a night where me and Bobby's character are having like an intense argument, and it was like hilarious because my brother-in-law sort of like doesn't like, he's like a Portuguese guy. He almost looks a little like Bobby, and he was like, "What are you working out here?"
Oh, he saw that there might be something autobiographical there.
Yeah, I mean, and there's not in this particular case, but it was like me and Bobby like going at it in the kitchen, and he was like, "What's going on, buddy?"
What are you working out with us that you have to do in this movie? Yeah. Well, what I really loved about the whole situation in the film is it's extremely relatable. I mean, I think as adults, all of us have started over again with either relationships or family, friends, certainly careers. Were you all able to sort of relate with that part of the film?
I think so, yeah. I think there's definitely, obviously, turning points in all of any life. Every life is a novel of moments and crossroads and everything like that. So, yeah, that's what's great, is how relatable it is. That's what I loved about the script, and how flawed the characters are, and how they kind of, it's all that minutiae of all that stuff, which I really related to and enjoyed to read,
Yeah, I think it was, and I think specifically with Justine, with Rose's character, we were, I think, trying to be very conscious of not creating like the nagging wife, nagging older sister, and I think it was fun to try to come up with, to sculpt a character that felt three-dimensional, and I think and Rose plays it beautifully, but that was an interesting thing, is just trying to be like, how do you play characters that feel similar, something that's relatable to stuff that you would be familiar with, but also not just like the archetype purely one-dimensional version of a character.
Well, I really enjoyed the movie, and it was great talking to you guys. Better than talking to Al Pacino. Talking to the three of you today.
Philbrick. Yeah. Philbrick. Yeah. Kubrick.